In this video, we will see how we can build, deploy, and run any machine learning API within a containerized environment. And as a part of this activity, we will see how we can take different steps required to run any application with the help of Docker. And this starts with writing a small Docker file which contains all the steps required to configure your environment, application, everything. It should be configured within your Docker file. And then in next step, we will take that Docker file as an input and we built a Docker image. So Docker image is a snapshot of your application. And in next step, we'll take that Docker image and run the application. And the application will run in the form of Docker container. Then at last, we will modify the front-end web application to invoke the machine learning API, which is running within my Docker container environment. Okay, so we will see each and every steps and how we can write a Docker file, what are the different aspects we need to consider while writing and while configuring your application, and how to run your application with the help of Docker commands. Okay, so now let's start. First, we'll try to understand what is the minimum setup required for running Docker within your environment. And here, all the instruction given for installing Docker is based on Ubuntu. Okay, and if you haven't installed Docker in your machine, you need to run this command for setting up Docker within your Ubuntu machine. So once it would be installed, you need to provide read, write, and execute access to Docker daemon. And for that, you need to run this command. Okay. After the execution of these two statements, your Docker is set up for running your application. Next, we need to set up Docker registry. And in this demo, I will be using Docker Hub as a public repository where I will be pushing all my Docker images. And in order to access Docker Hub, you first need to create one Docker Hub account. And then in next step, we will configure those Docker Hub credentials within our environment so that I will be able to push and pull all those Docker images from Docker Hub registry. Okay. So in order to create one Docker Hub account, just go to this link. Okay. And sign up for Docker Hub. Okay. And once we'll have the Docker Hub account, go to the command prompt and just write Docker login. I will just showcase how it will look like. I will simply write Docker login, press enter. It will ask for Docker Hub credentials. So as I have already provided all the credentials, so it will say Docker. So you can see login succeeded. Okay. But if it hasn't configured it, then probably you need to provide your Docker Hub account and credentials. So now my environment is ready for running any Docker based application. And now we'll see what are the different artifacts required for running any application within Docker environment. So the first step, as we have seen in this diagram, the first step is to write a Docker file. So Docker file provides a set of instructions required for running any Docker based application. So we'll simply click on this Docker file and now we'll try to understand what it means. So here in this file, you can see that it contains 5 different statements. And each statement has some meaning with respect to how my application would be running within Docker environment. So the first statement talks about the base image, which this Docker file is using. And for running any fast API based application, we need to use this base image, which contains all the required details for running any Python based application. So that's the first statement. In the second statement, what we are doing, we are simply taking the requirement.txt file from my app folder and we are copying it within the app folder within my containerized environment. So here, this is my source path and this is the target path. Target path means where it would be copied within my containerized environment. So that's the meaning of copy. And now we'll see what this file contains. So we'll go back to app folder. That's what it's referring. We'll go to app folder, and within app folder we have requirement.txt files. So just open it, and this requirement.txt file contains all the dependencies required for running any machine learning application, right? So as we have seen in my last video, where we had built one machine learning model with the help of LightGBM and all the Python based packages, right? And that's what we are using it here. If you look, we are using LightGBM, categorical encoder, NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, joblib. And that's what we had used during our model building process. And if you haven't seen my previous video, I will provide the link in the description below. Okay. So in the requirement.txt file, it contains all the dependency detail. And that's what we are doing it here. We are simply taking the requirement.txt file from my app folder and we are copying it within my Docker environment. And for Fast API, it's a requirement that you need to copy all the details within app folder, right? So that's the requirement for running any Fast API based application. In the second step, we are simply taking the requirement.txt file from my Docker environment, right? So that's what we are doing it here. Because in the earlier step, we have copied the requirement.txt file within app folder. And in the next step, we are taking the requirement.txt file from a Docker environment, right? So within Docker environment, it will have details within this folder and we'll simply run it. After the execution of this statement, all the required packages will be installed within my Docker environment, right? So at this point of time, my Docker environment is ready for running any machine learning application. In next step, what we will do, we will take the model folder, right? Model artifact, and we'll simply copy it within the model directory within my Docker environment. Okay, that's what we are doing it here. And in the last step, we are simply taking all the content from my app folder and we are simply copying it within app folder within Docker environment. That's what we are doing it here. And with the help of these 5 statements, we will be able to build Docker images, and then we will push that Docker image to Docker registry. Okay. So if you haven't seen my previous video, I will strongly recommend to watch that video, because that video will provide all the details required for writing any machine learning API which is based on Fast API, and you would be able to appreciate why we have used this model folder in this way, right? So it's worth watching that video. Okay, so now what we will do, we will build a Docker image. So for that, I have another Jupyter notebook. Okay. So here I need to provide the Docker username. So my Docker username is this. And then I need to build Docker image. So Docker, in order to run or build a Docker image, you need to run this command, docker build, and then you need to give tag name -t for tagging your Docker image, and this is the Docker image name. Okay, so here what I will do, I will simply change the version name 1.0.2 1.0.2, and at last it's giving dot. Dot means it will take the Docker file from my current working directory, and the current working directory for me is this one. Okay, so it will take the Docker file from my current working directory and it will build the Docker image. Once we'll have a Docker image, it will take that Docker image. So whatever we have built in the previous step, it will take that Docker image and it will push to Docker Hub. Docker push and the name of your image. Whatever tag name you have given to your Docker image, it will take and it will push it to Docker Hub. So now we'll simply run this command and we'll see. So it will take some time. I will just pause my video and we'll come back once it's done. So you can see it has successfully created and tagged the image 1.0.2 and now it's trying to push it. So very soon it will push that Docker image to Docker Hub. So if you would be running this for the first time, it will take longer time because it will install all the packages within your Docker environment. Okay. And for the second time onwards, it will be very fast because it takes the already layers which exist within your environment. Okay. So here you can see that it's saying a layer already exists and you can see that it has been pushed to Docker Hub. Now we'll quickly check within Docker Hub whether the version which we have pushed to Docker Hub exists or not. We'll simply go to Docker Hub and here I will just refresh this link and I have already logged in with the help of my Docker Hub credentials, and here it will contain all the Docker image which we have pushed to Docker Hub public repository. Okay, so I will click on this link. So here you can see the fast API placement classified, and that's the name of my Docker Hub image, right? So that's the name of my Docker Hub image. And if you look the version number 1.0.2, you can see that it has 1.0.2. And before that, I have already pushed to version 1 and version 1.0.1. And this is the latest version which we have just pushed. Okay. In second part, what we will do, we will simply take this Docker image 1.0.2 and we'll try to run it. So in order to run Docker image, you need to run this command docker run, and then you need to give the name of your Docker container. So I'm just giving minus name, and the name of my Docker container would be fast API server. Minus D means it will run in the background. Minus P is for port. So I'm just giving that 80 port. So map 80 port from my Docker container environment to 80 for accessing it for the external world. And next I'm providing some environmental variable, right? So that is for making sure that you have appropriate number of workers for running your application. And here I'm giving worker per core equal to 3. So whatever number of cores your system will have, it will multiply the number of cores with this number. So if you have 2 cores, then it will have 6 workers. Okay. And then at last, we need to provide the name of your Docker container, whatever you have built in the previous step. So that's it. So once you'll run this statement, it will run a Docker container. So you can see that it has given this number. So just copy it. So initial 4 to 5 6 characters, copy it. And now we'll try to see the logs, right? So in order to check what is running within my Docker container, you need to run this command docker logs and the name of the container. So whatever you have copied from this statement, so just copy it and run it. So we'll simply check what is running. It will provide all the logs provided by my running Docker container. so that we would be able to monitor the progress of my activities, whatever activities is happening within the Docker container environment. So you can see it's listening at this port. Okay, so that means my environment is up and running, and now it's ready to receive any request from any client. And now we'll simply try to use this Python request package for sending any messages. So here I am simply using data, and I have populated the JSON layout in this way, and I am simply posting a message with the help of request.post, and I'm providing the endpoint name of my machine learning API and passing data in the form of JSON with the help of this, and we'll simply run it. So you can see it's giving placed, right? And similarly, I will also send one another row for not placed data, and here I'm simply modifying the data content and I'm posting the data, and here you can see that not placed. And now if we'll check the log, it will have two entries. So you can see it has two entries. So that means my Docker container has received a request from external world, and it has sent a 200 response back to user. So whatever interface would have accessed that Docker container machine learning API, it has sent a successful response back. The other way, we can also check it with the help of this 0 0, and here you need to give 80, and here you'd be able to see the value. System is healthy, right? So that is coming out from my app. So you can see the app. I will just simply show you. It's coming from the system is healthy. It's hitting the root endpoint, and if I will also give \home, it will hit the same endpoint. And for predict, the endpoint is this, and in order to access that endpoint, we need to access the Swagger API, and for Swagger API, just mention docs. Press enter. It will give me the Swagger UI, and within Swagger UI, you have this option for sending request to machine learning API. And for that, you can provide input data here. So for that, just click on try it out, and here provide the input data. For that, I will simply copy one message from here. I will simply copy one message from here, just copy it, and we'll paste it here. Paste it here, okay, and execute. It will send. You can see it's placed. It is sending a post request to this ML API endpoint, and it's sending data in JSON format, right? And the JSON format is this. JSON data layout contains this information, whatever we have passed from here. So in this way, we can invoke machine learning API using different method, either with the help of Swagger UI or with the help of your Python package. And now we'll take one step ahead, and now we'll try to modify the front-end web app. So front-end web app, I have stored it within this directory. We'll simply click it. So I have already covered it in much more detail in my last video, where I have explained each and every statements, what it signifies, and how we can configure it for receiving different type of values. Okay, so for here, I need to only modify one thing. Here I need to give the endpoint as this, because we can see the endpoint is like this. Okay, we'll save it. Now we'll run it. For that, just go to your command prompt, and here we need to run this command, streamlight run, and the name of your program. Okay, first we need to go to front end, and from here we need to write this command, streamlight run. Okay, so this will launch the front-end web application, and using that application we can provide different input required for my machine learning API. So here it is. Okay, and if we go back and look your front-end web application, it exactly similar to what we have written in this program, right? So you can see it, the title which is coming campus placement classifier, and we have all the other fields. Some contains text input and some has this drop down option, right? So everything has been configured in this program. Okay, and now we'll provide some data and we'll send it to machine learning API. So yeah, I'm just giving 1 2 3 10th percentage 80, 12th 85, degree percentage 74, is 69, 80. Okay, and we'll leave all the value as it is. Okay, and here I will simply click on predict. So you can see it's coming from my machine learning API. Prediction made by my model is placed. Okay, we'll try to modify something here. We'll simply give the value as 50. We'll send one more request, predict, and here you can see that not placed. So in this way we can also use this front-end web application for testing the machine learning API. And in this video we have seen multiple approaches to test your machine learning API, right? So here we have used this Python request package for sending a post request to the machine learning API. That's the one method. The second, we have seen the Swagger UI interface through which we can push payment to machine learning API. Third approach, using the Streamlight application, right? Which we have built with the help of Streamlight framework. Right, so that's the three different ways we can use for testing your machine learning API, and whatever way is convenient for you, use it appropriately. But just make sure that before deploying any machine learning API in production, just make sure that it has been tested thoroughly using different approaches, and try to mimic your production environment. If this machine learning API would be used by your front-end web application, just make sure that we have some sort of interface through which we can simulate my production environment for my front-end web app. Okay, and if this machine learning API would be used by some other processes, then try to use some backend process with the help of request package, which will simulate the post request from your Python program. Okay, so now we have seen the entire set of activities required to run any machine learning API within a containerized environment. So we have seen how to write a small Docker file, how to build a Docker image with the help of Docker file, how we can run a Docker container with the help of Docker image, and how we can access the machine learning API which is running within my Docker container. We have also seen different approaches to test machine learning API, and at last we have seen how we can push Docker image to Docker registry. In next video we will take this image which we have pushed to Docker registry and will deploy it within Kubernetes environment. So that's it for now. I hope you'll find this video useful, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to it, and thanks for watching my video.